Hey nerds, what's up? Today we're going to be doing another character creation challenge. Unlike the last two times, I used a 12-sided die to determine or play with fate to see what the random character attributes were. But today, I decided to do something a little different. I was looking up online some different character generator websites, and I stumbled across one. It's a website called rangen.co, and it has this random appearance generator. I thought that would be a great option because they have different specifications or non-specifications that you can put to randomly generate your character. So for instance, you can randomize your gender, you can go for certain types of characters, including realistic, unique, anime, and exotic. And as a lover of anime, I thought it would be fun to try and do a specific anime style character. So because this is the third random character creation challenge, I thought I would give myself 3 different goes on the random anime appearance generator. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna set the gender to random. I'm going to go under type and go to anime. In description, I would like a detailed description. All right, so we're gonna generate 3 different descriptions and I'm gonna choose my favorite out of the 3. Standing 5'6" tall, this dark-skinned woman has a controlling feel about her. A particularly notable feature is her double joints, and she has a small cut on her nose. She has a triangular face with a cleft chin, a big nose, large lips, and her light brown eyes are heavy-lidded. She has hip-length, fine, light green hair, which is lightly gelled. She wears complementary eyeliner. She has long arms, a bulky torso with chiseled abs, a narrow waist, bony hips, and short legs. She usually wears new, extravagant clothes that are mostly pastel-colored and poorly fitting, and she wears a white amulet. Wow, there is a lot to work with, which is really fun. Okay, second generation. Standing 6'8" tall, this tan-skinned woman has a cool feel about her. She has an angular face with a rounded jaw, a pointed nose, small ears, smooth cheeks, and puffy lips. Her dark orange eyes are large and she has thin eyebrows. She has short, fine, deep purple hair, which is worn in an emo style. She has muscular arms and powerful hands, a powerful torso with a well-defined waist and short legs. Weird proportions so far. Super tall but short legs. Okay, last one. Standing 6'5" tall, this dark-skinned person has a snooty feel about them, and they have a burn mark on their face which they always tell the story for. They have a round face with a round chin, a large nose, large lips, and their dark blue eyes are big. They have knee-length curly red hair that is thinning. They have muscular arms, a long torso with defined muscles, a narrow waist, and muscular legs. Looking between the 3 of these, I'm definitely towards the first 2. I'm realizing the third one, you can choose whatever gender you want. But I really feel like the first one had so much description, like complimentary eyeliner to the light green hair, wears extravagant clothes that are pastel colored, poorly fitting, and has a white amulet. That's the thing that really gets me interested. So I think we're gonna go with the first one. So I started with some rough preliminary sketches just to figure out if I could find a pose that I liked that had all of the double jointed or was able to show her being double jointed, and it was just really awkward. I didn't think I wanted to in the end go with a double jointed pose and thought that was something she could reveal pretty quickly, like if she was a real character in a manga. I also worked on her color scheme as well as just some quick sketches of what I thought maybe her extravagant outfit would be. I used a reference to get
the chiseled abs that I wanted, and I had a pretty good feeling of how I wanted to pose her. Just thinking about what the description said about her being controlling, at first I went through what if she controlled people through her amulet, or, had some sort of mystical powers in that sense. But then I also thought of what if her character herself, she was just like a controlling person in the way that her personality is and the way that her presence is. And so I thought that maybe she would be a character of royalty, or at least of high standing. So I wanted to give her a look that had her, putting her chin up, putting her nose up at you, and looking down on you, that very kind of pompous, intimidating sort of look. I also had her holding up the amulet either as kind of taunting you and being like, oh, is this what you're looking for? Oh, do you want this? Well, it's mine. My main thought about drawing her as well was I knew the end product, I wanted her to look like a character that you would see on a manga cover. For those of you who don't know what manga is a Japanese graphic novel. And I looked at a lot of different manga covers for inspiration, including Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and a few others that I just had looked up on Google. I debated on what I wanted the amulet to look like as well, partially because I'm not great at drawing jewels, and especially coloring them. They're really tricky, and so you'll see that in the preliminary sketches I drew a few different shapes for the amulet, and I thought that the amulet would be an important piece of her character, whether or not there is some sort of magical essence to it. As I was drawing her, I wasn't sure if she would be a main character of the manga, but I definitely think she would be an important one. For her clothes, I definitely looked at a lot of different fashions for inspiration, and I wound up going away from my preliminary sketches because I kept thinking, how can I show off her abs? Because that was something that was noted in the description. And so I went for more of an Egyptian, maybe even Arabic, definitely an Eastern style. And in the way of her clothes not fitting well, I just gave her a very non-shapely, loose-fitting shirt that, of course, cut off so that you could see her abs. And again, the way that the cut is and everything, it just adds more to the intimidation of who she is, and again, maybe controlling men through her body, that kind of idea. I really enjoyed playing with her hair and the colors and having her skin complement her hair, or vice versa, and I thought that the colors came out pretty well. Overall, though, I'm pretty satisfied with how her character was turning out. Another thing that I wanted to add to the extravagance of her look was not just, since the cut of her outfit is maybe more simplistic, I wanted to definitely add details and design to her clothes to make them look expensive and extravagant. Something else that I was trying to get better at and learning was the finish of gold on all the jewelry, and really working with those colors and making it look as if it were, more realistic gold. I also added a bunch of jewelry to her, not only the necklace, the amulet that she is wearing, but rings on her fingers and bracers and arm jewelry as well. If I couldn't get her clothes to be extravagant in their form, then at least I could add extravagant designs, and I intended for the yellow or golden colors on her design pattern to be golden, like made of gold or something. So she, again, is of high standing, or a queen, or something of that degree. Someone important. I did work off of different Egyptian and Arabic designs when I wanted to look at creating the specific pattern that I went with for her clothes. I kept the base color of her clothes definitely in the pastel realm, but then added those flecks of gold to add the more expensive, powerful look that I was going for her. So overall, I think it turned out rather well. I didn't get too deep into the lore of her character, but I definitely enjoyed drawing her in this style, and I kind of got Yu-Gi-Oh vibes from her. I have Urbosa from Breath of the Wild vibes from her. I think she turned out pretty great. here's my finished product, the full manga cover being done. On the side, you'll see that the name is Manju Kanju, and I had looked up what jewel meant in Japanese, and I came across tide jewels, which is something from Japanese mythology. Kanju is a tide ebbing jewel, and Manju is a tide flowing jewel. And they're used from the sea god, and he uses them to control the tides. So I just thought that was a really interesting title and something that I could tie back to the amulet, and maybe that's the lore and the importance of jewels, or maybe there's a bunch of different jewels and amulets in this story that control different things. You never know. But overall, I think she turned out really cool. Again, I don't have a name for her, so what do you guys think we should name her? I think she came off really cool looking in the end, and while I may not have been able to implement everything that the description said, I thought I did a pretty good job. But let me know what you guys think down below. Press a like if you enjoyed this type of video, or if you enjoy my other content, and feel free to check out all the other nerdy content that I do. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.